Hi everyone,
They are a bit.
welcome to a Q&A. Yeah, we are just talking just for about how the shelves are a bit of a mess. And the I look back to see how did we do this before? We haven't done a Q&A for ages. Hopefully this is all working okay. But the last time we did a Q&A was April last year, and at that time Rach had her own little microphone. We were still doing that. We did away with that shortly. Maybe it was that stream, or maybe it was a playthrough we did after there where Rado popped in either during or afterwards and was like, there's this program you can use to balance audio out. Don't bother with this microphone stuff. We might need to be a bit louder. Oh, I've got rid of us. Don't worry, we're still here. This is just the only way I can make the microphone a little bit louder. Is this okay? Are we loud enough? Because I don't want to make me too loud. Like the microphone's, it's over on Rachel's side. Usually you wouldn't see it because we turn the background off, or it's like underneath. But if we put it near Rach, she's all quiet, so it should balance out. I'll shout
Maybe.
across to the microphone. Hi everyone that's here. How's it going? Hey Steve, James, Pips, Drop Up Man. I've got you all. Marty is enjoying his nice warm bed downstairs. He'll probably be up at some point. When he starts to get an inkling that it's vaguely near dinner time, he'll start circling. Maybe he'll even join us on the table. Although he tends to only do that for playthroughs. Because the playthroughs like happen at 4 o'clock, which is one of his dry food feedings. He has his food and then he wants a bit of a fuss. So he comes up and destroys whatever game's up here. We didn't do that today. Hey Liz, good morning from Colorado. Let's go to Colorado. It is chilly and windy in England. There's a big wind hoo-ha going on, isn't there,
There is
Rach?
a windy storm.
We had a walk this morning. Bins all over the road. Wheelie bins. It's alright though, if that's the worst thing. Last time there was big winds, there's a great big tree, isn't there?
Yeah, it's still on the ground now.
Yeah, street near our house, this like enormous tree is like, it's still there, but it's like ripped from the ground. It's like just hanging in by a little anchor. The shelves are great. Yours are a mess. I think I'm kind of covering up. The messiest bit is behind my chair. It's like the vague shadows of brimstone stuff that's getting organised now. All that stuff above Rachel's head is bits to shadows of brimstone. Because it's been brought up here in the last few months, hasn't it? To tidy things up a little bit. And we need to get that Disney bag's got a art thing we need to find a frame for as well, don't we? It's here for safekeeping, so like it's on the top of that shelf. It's not going to get messed with, and you can see a selection of games that are for the vague future when I get time. Some of the SNE things stuff that need to get filmed and played in there. I miss seeing some of the shelves. Usually we don't have this metal bar in the way. That's a problem, isn't it? That we hadn't anticipated. But our Castles of Burgundy's arrived, hasn't it?
It has.
So this behind me is Georgina's copy. Thank you again, Georgina, for lending it us. She'll be returning soon.
Yes,
when we
shall be returning.
Took it a con like months ago, and we'll return it at another con. But ours has come with. We haven't opened the acrylic things yet. We know how fancy the Castles of Burgundy thing is. They're delivering like the pledges and things. I think February's going to be the month of stuff arriving, right? In the middle of getting rid of stuff. Even from Denmark. Okay, global. The sound sounds alright. If we're ever a bit quiet, just let me know. But I think turning it up is going to be a bit of a problem because I'm too loud.
I don't have anything to say.
No.
I'm just quiet.
Yeah, we found a miracle thing that when Rach was in all the playthroughs last year, we found a miracle thing that you can just throw the sound into and it makes you as loud as each other. It's amazing, but unfortunately, it doesn't work live.
After the fact.
We should have just sat here and imagined all the questions that might be asked and just put it up as a recorded video. So, I thought we're just here kind of for a chat, really. I think I haven't done one of these for ages, and it turns out it's even longer than I thought. I assumed we'd done one after August or something, but it was like for the anniversary of the channel last April, end of April. But yeah, if you've got any questions that you would like us to answer, I think we've got a grand total of one ready in advance.
Well, that's a question.
So we've got one question. Is there a new dungeon crawl built with cards laid out in a 4x4 grid? It's a newer release. I've seen. Are you thinking of the player mats in Tidal Blades 2? I was looking at that as a possibility of whether to get it, but it's too pricey at the moment for me to take a chance on. It looks all fancy and deluxe and stuff, but it's about I think you can get it without. I was looking at deluxe things. I think you can get it cheaper, but it looked about £200-ish. But that's got some kind of like grid system where like you play cards to a combat grid every now and then, like every turn, and you will build up more and more cards so that you'll do more and more actions on your turn. It seems quite cool. I don't think you've seen any Tidal Blades stuff, Rach. Oh, it's art as well. I should have got a browser window to go up here. It's art by, is it Mr. Cuddington? Remembering that right? That's right, yeah, Mr. Cuddington, the art studio who did the art for Charterstone. Remember all that? Probably like loads since then as well. Our old references for things. Yeah, the breast sensor in Steampunk Rally, isn't it? Yeah, it's like lovely artwork. But I think that's like a combat grid anyway. Is that what you meant? Or do you mean like a dungeon in a big grid? You see, yeah, each player's got like each player's got a 3x3 grid that they're playing cards into. Is it that? The cards that are passed around. Ooh. No, I don't think I've seen that. I haven't actually looked at what the actual combat stuff involves. Wait a minute, is there a thing moving the camera automatically? Or is that just my imagination? No, I turned that off. Maybe it's just like the autofocus because I'm moving about. How does combat work in Iridia? Could it be that? I don't know if that's necessarily dungeon crawly. I say I haven't looked too much into it. I know it's a big box of campaigny stuff. No, that doesn't look like doesn't look like we're passing around stuff. We're like on like a tile map and stuff, aren't we? I know, Rach, that the minis for Iridia all come painted in the box, and they've all got removable heads, so you can decide which gender you want the character to be by slotting the head in, and you can buy an expansion pack that's like dwarf sized of all of the bodies in case you want to play a dwarf character. That's the extent of what I know about it. You played it, but you can't remember. No, I don't think I can. I haven't. I definitely haven't played it. It's a newish release. I don't know. Let us know if you think of it. It sounds cool. What are you passing things around? Are you passing like combat cards around? Is there any Hadrian's Wall coming up? No, probably not. Not for the time being anyway. There is, because I've only done one thing of it so far, and it's right here next to me. There will be the Anarchy coming up, which is like the sequel to Hadrian's Wall, not like story-wise, but like all the gameplay of Hadrian's Wall, but with more bits, more complicated and stuff. I think I've definitely started the campaign. I think we've only done one chapter of it though, and then December is all full of stuff and Christmases and things. But that'll be coming back probably soon. If not next week, then it'll be the week after. But then the week after's February, and it means I won't have done one in January either.
Just unacceptable.
So at some point soon. James asks Rach, I think you'll have agreed with this for ages. Do you think the size of game boxes have reached their limit?
They reached their limit a long time ago and surpassed it.
Yeah, they're pretty enormous now, aren't they? Although, like, it's hard to complain as much because we're so excited by like Frosthaven and Gloomhaven and how much was packed into those things, and like
I think some of it is
it's just
game
because
boxes, but I think some of it is games have surpassed their size limits. Some of them, they have no respect for a table.
Yeah, and it's like it's hard for filming as well as like play. There's a bigger table downstairs, or like the table downstairs is well, it's generally full of my rubbish, but this table's got like monitors and stuff and lights and everything hanging off it, so you can't use it all, and you've got to fit a bit in the camera. So there's a lot of games where, like, as soon as I've got the board in, that's the whole. I can't even fit the whole game in. But like, it's been that way probably for a while now, isn't it? That the number of things that are like a whole Kallax cube for just one game is like getting more and more.
Crazy.
But like, they end up full of really cool stuff. But then like there was a weird one that like Vagrant Song is quite a thin game, and it's got an expansion that's another quite thin box, and it's got a big box to store it all in, so you can put it in one box together with inserts. But that big box is way bigger than those two boxes. I think because there's like extra things you can buy and to store it all in a fancy way maybe. But it's even bigger, and our kind of number one game issue is we've got too many games, or games are taking up too much space. And there's definitely been like, I don't know, maybe a few that we've gotten rid of or given up on, that part of the decision is it's just so big. Like I've been wondering about Suburbia. That's because like a lot of games we haven't played for a long time, but Suburbia enters that category. Once we should have given up on the new expansion and kept the old edition. We had it all fit in the normal box. We had a lovely wooden insert for it. The collector's edition is beautiful, but it's gone from being just one game box to a 2+ game box. I don't think anything is like Civolution needs to be kind of big. It's not like enormous anyway. It's not taking up like a whole Kallaxy thing. But yeah, everything is getting pretty huge. But then like I see things like Iridia and think, what wondrous things could be inside that? What amazing campaign could we get sucked into? What amazing campaign could we start, get really excited about, and then
not do it?
Yeah, stuff gets in the way and abandon a few scenarios in. We can't even say we get like double-digit scenarios in these days, can we?
No.
It depends. We try. We came back to Agamonia after months of not playing it, and then we kind of thought that the 2-player thing seems. This feels like it will be a lot better with more characters, but we don't want to play more characters. Yeah, definitely. Surely, like, I don't know, we've got some games that won't fit in Kallaxes though. Like Primal: The Awakening is huge, and there's an argument for that as well. Like a couple of people said on the video that like the minis are beautiful and they do serve a lovely function, but when they could argue for loads of games in this way. You could just have standees or counters that represent just the. I don't know if it would have the same effect. It wouldn't have like the same presence, definitely, but would the game feel as good if it was just like you're playing on like that just grid of Primal and you just had a disc with an arrow saying where its face was, just turning all the time? Like it would be way smaller, but would you want to play it as much? Part of what's cool about it is seeing that those crazy creatures come to life on the board. But yeah, it's hard. I want everything to be smaller, but I want games to be filled with tons of stuff. So you can't have it both ways. We just gotta keep moving games on, haven't we? Which is rough because there's so many things that more and more recently, so many things that thought, oh, we'd never get rid of that. That starting to have to think, well, something needs to go. We either need to get rid of the latest thing that seemed really good, or keep all those old things that I'm definitely going to go back to one day, even though at some point it's going to be like 7+ years. There must be games that we've got that we haven't played for loads of years now.
For the whole time we've lived here, anyway.
Yeah, we've lived here for 4 years. Let's pass around. What's the Anakin Scarbright? Oh yeah, Scarbright. They should be delivering fairly soon too, right now. Not like imminently, but within the next few months. And the Garfield Kickstarter is on. Like, is it next week or is it just started for the expansions for all of the South Tigris games? Oh, that's the question. While I'm thinking about it, I think it was just generally about that, but I think there was another bit on the question. Oh, it was just generally when will there be more Garfield playthroughs. There'll be the Anarchy that's, as I mentioned, coming up soon, but specifically asking about the expansions. I don't think I'm going to be doing the expansions at this point anyway, which is a bit gutting, but when they come out, I'm sure I'll be doing them because I love all the South Tigris games and I want to play it's got I can't remember the name, the Saga expansion. That's the equivalent of the ones that are always already for the North Sea and the West Kingdom. The South Tigris one where you can either play them all competitively or you can play a solo campaign with them all and add the various bits on. I'm sure it'll be great. Java 1, best board gaming experience of 2024 on and off screen. What do you think, Rach? What was your best one off screen? You haven't had as many on screen. What was the best
Dunno.
playthrough of the ones that you were in?
On screen.
Yeah.
Dunno.
What did we did Slay the Spire.
Don't
We did
remember.
Agamonia. We didn't do tons, but
Must
you were in
need
a
to think
few
back
last year.
a long time.
It's I don't know, maybe I don't know, playing the full Slay the Spire at Beacon was pretty cool.
That's probably
It took a lot of
my
the day. But
highlight.
what about the Eldritch Horror
No,
at
yeah, that's the best.
GridCon?
That
That's
was the
probably the
best.
best thing. We played a
That was such good fun.
6-player game of Eldritch Horror. There were a load of great ones at Beacon, and there were a load of great ones at GridCon this year as well. But yeah, we had a great big epic, I think 5-hour game of Eldritch Horror, and it was proper you get sometimes the game will beat you down really quickly and it's disappointing, or you will win really easily and it's a bit disappointing. But that was a proper roller coaster of which you can't really control, but of us doing well and then suddenly that getting undercut and the game pulling all of the things from under us. And I can't remember whether we won or lost, but it came down to one of the very last things as well. It was really exciting, and everyone was really up for it and into it as well, which is always a plus. That you need to be you need to be excited about what's going to happen, and everyone at the table. It was some people's first game of it as well, wasn't it?
Yeah.
And yeah, everyone was into the roller coaster of stuff that was happening on screen. Would it be for you? Maybe the Slay the Spire. Then we did a couple of Slay the Spires, didn't we?
I mean, I can easily think of the worst board game experience on screen.
Which one?
Arkham Horror Card Game.
Oh yeah. Oh that was. Oh yeah, that was recorded.
That sticks in my mind so much that I can't think of anything good that happened last year because I'll never forget that.
Yeah, but that was we played the new Arkham last year, the Hemlock Vale. We enjoyed a lot of it, to be fair, but the ending ended so badly for us in terms of a thing to play rather than the story that was in it. Thematically and story wise, cool things happened, but
also gutting.
As players that were playing it, it wasn't so fun, and it took a lot longer than it seemed in the end. Probably there is there's an actual Cthulhu expansion coming, isn't there, for Arkham this year? But maybe we'll play that off camera this time, at least first, and see if we want to get through it, because it's a big commitment, isn't it, filming all of that stuff. I don't know. I really in off camera as well. In real life as well as recorded. I really enjoyed doing the big Slay the Spires, going through the whole thing. ISS Vanguard was really cool as well, despite only doing a couple of it. I really enjoyed the opening of that. I think you might like ISS Vanguard, Rach.
Maybe.
But it's hard, to show it to you. I got to reset it, and it's one of them things that we'll get back to one day, but it's probably going to be ages in it. You generally end up with the game set up on the table, all the boxes of the other components spread over the kitchen counter for easy access. That's pretty much what it's like in here. There isn't I've got a big table for filming on in here, but there's not a lot of other surfaces for all of your other bits that the games need. So there tends to just be boxes strewn everywhere with all of the bits, so I can grab them when the game inevitably tells me to grab a bit that it hadn't told me about till the middle of the game. Hey Derek, how's it going? Although, like, I did a little bit of sprucing in here earlier, and it's not quite as terrible as it was earlier, is it, Rach?
No.
It's still not nice in here, but I'm trying. Hey, Dan. Hey, Alan. Hey, Janet. You're gonna really like Iridia. I hope so. Like, it's coming out end of Feb, I think, in the UK, because people are getting it that's backed it on Kickstarter now, and it's all looking very fancy. But I would like to give it a go. When is the next story time with Rach? When is it, Rach?
I don't know.
It hasn't been. I suppose it's been like a month now since we did the Phoenix Wright,
Oh yeah.
the card game. That was the last one, wasn't it? I have got. Oh, they're not in here right now. I've got a couple of games. I don't think did they get many votes. There's a couple of games called Guilty that are kind of story based investigation things that they're from ELO and they want to be like they're big. Not in terms of the mechanics, but their big emphasis on the box seems to be gritty and mature themes and stuff. And the first one, I think the first one is like an 18 or something recommended on the back of the box. And it seems a bit grim and it's about prison and stuff. Yeah, 18. Some descriptions may offend younger people. And then there's one set in Monaco as well. So we could maybe do something like that that's like a story-based thing.
Could do.
We haven't arranged one yet. I don't think there's anything... Oh, actually, one thing that it might be, it's not like there's a big storybook thing happening, but one thing that did very well in the vote, or it had last time I checked it, was Unsettled. Doing another... some kind of new planet of that. Which could involve you, Rach.
Oh yeah.
You were in the last Unsettled, weren't you? That was
Yes.
probably a year ago.
Don't know. Not that long ago.
Maybe. It's close to it, I think. Because we've only seen a couple of planets of Unsettled, haven't we? We've played one a couple of times, I think. Seen like different paths in it, but I think there's like 9 planets. Everyone's got 4 different missions. There's so much in it. We get back to Unsettled, so maybe it'll be that. Although the story will be one that we make for ourselves. Rach,
Yeah.
before I keep going with all of the questions, do you want to do your announcement?
You can do your announcement.
Do you want me to do it?
Yeah, you can do the announcement.
So part of it, I've wanted to do it like as a Q&A as well and not make like a massive deal in it, but it is kind of a massive deal. We've got a bit of a personal announcement that Rach is pregnant.
Well, we're pregnant.
Yeah.
But me.
Yeah, physically you are. Yeah. And
Yeah.
so at some point this year, there's going to be...
A baby slickerdrips.
Yeah. We'll try and train her as quickly as possible and she'll be presenting her own videos.
Yeah.
As soon as she can hold components, she might need some translation. But yeah, there's going to be some unknown things as it gets into like May and stuff.
Yeah.
When, like, I'm sure there'll be videos and stuff happening, but you'll see posts about it at the time. But who knows what's going to happen with all of that. But yeah, like, how many months is it? Not until. It's like 3 months away, right?
3 months away.
So 6
yeah.
months.
Yeah.
So she's 6 months pregnant. So is that. Because I'll just keep droning about board games and not mention the thing that I thought, like, oh, we'll wait about 5 minutes and let people know. Let people get here and then say it, and then I've talked for like half an hour.
As you do.
There's so much board games to talk about, Rach. Yeah, that's what we know so far. And like, babies aren't really aren't generally born on their due date, but of a coincidence, the baby's due date is the anniversary of the channel.
It is.
It'd be the 9th
crazy.
anniversary of the channel, which is a weird coincidence, which we didn't think about until
You just
the other
suddenly
week.
Realised, and you went, "Oh,
I was
it's
thinking
on the
about, oh yeah, that's
anniversary."
the due date, and then realised as it starts to come up, oh yeah, that's the channel's anniversary as well. So yeah, that'll be good, won't it? Right, where was I? Where's the next story time with Rach? Maybe Unsettled soon.
Well, it'll have to be sooner rather than
Well, yeah.
later.
Yeah, Rach will get less and less available to be crammed into this room. If the mechanics are tight and fun, then I don't mind no minis. Yeah, like it's not an essential thing, and it's only been recently that I've painted anything. So like that's a plus as well. That even though they're kind of rushed and dodgy sometimes, me painting things, it's cool looking at them rather than the grey stuff. But like that was a thing that Vagrant Song had going for it. The acrylic standees that are like printed. What did we play? Pericle. We've played a couple of games like that, haven't they? Where like standees are cool in themselves, but then it's not as much of a problem for us as 2 players. People complain that like if you're playing 4 players and you're all around there, it's this and you're playing with standees. There's going to be times when it's hard for you to see.
Yeah, but
They
I
might just be.
never when
They
we
might
played
not be positioned
when
for
we played
everybody.
4-player Gloomhaven, I never found that to be a
Yeah,
problem.
maybe hexes solve that a bit. I don't
Yeah,
know.
maybe.
But yeah, the acrylic ones, they look beautiful. And like I don't know what it's surely got to be cheaper than making minis, but probably a lot more expensive than just making cardboard standees. But yeah, it can make things look really beautiful with them. And it's not like it's not a it won't make me get a game that it's got minis. Like that's strange. Like I saw someone's like kind of homebrewed Marvel United, and they've made kind of pogs out of the pictures of all of the characters and just put all their minis in a box somewhere. And so, they want to play the game, they just find the pog, play it all with these counters instead of any of the minis because the game absolutely doesn't need minis, but it's pretty cool that it's got minis. Like it is a big plus, especially like we played about 30 games of it the other week. We get back to doing that again, but been stuff to do, aren't there?
You don't like using characters that you haven't painted.
Yeah, I'm trying to use all of the painted ones, and I've only painted half of them, which is a lot of characters. But unfortunately, that's still only a half of them. But yeah, we'll try and do more of that. Space the main reason you got 3D prints to consolidate things. I think that like I can't get a 3D printer because we don't have space for it, and I don't know what I'm doing. But I would love one because like we haven't got tons of them. But like we've got one for Unsettled. Like Unsettled had that box that you can kind of see in the corner there, that kind of big box, and then like 7 separate boxes for all the planets and things. It took up so much space. There's a 3D printed insert in there. Then the whole thing is in that box. And there's a couple of like card games where the whole thing fits in there now, where it never would have before. And I had some things printed for Shadows of Brimstone as well that held all of the tokens and things that looked like a gun chamber and stuff. It was really cool. I just get lost in printing all of those little bits. Hey Robin, if you could only keep one game each, what would it be? Scary.
RV season, obviously.
Would it?
Yeah.
Would it be Augustus?
Yeah, it will be Augustus.
Rich,
I'd be sad if I never played that again.
Rich's would be Augustus, or it's I think it's Rise of Augustus officially on Board Game Geek. We've done a playthrough for it, haven't we?
Yeah.
I think for one of the milestones, or maybe we just did it at some point. It's kind of Roman bingo. Bingo with a bit of Eurogame on it.
Anyone
It's
can
not
play
just bingo. It is
Easy
good
enough
game.
for anyone.
I think.
That's because I know you would probably choose quite a tricky game.
Well, like, I don't know because like Euro-y and stuff. If you were allowed to keep like Agricola, you could have thousands of combinations with all them
you
cards.
can keep Agricola,
Rach doesn't
but
really
you're
like
never playing it,
Rach doesn't like Agricola. Castles of Burgundy, we could play
I just think
for a long, 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 long time. But if you were to take a story thing, like it used to be easy of saying like, oh, well, Gloomhaven's got like 90 scenarios and stuff in it. But if you kept like Eldritch Horror,
that is true. It would be sad if we didn't have all that
you would
stuff.
probably never. It would take you ages to repeat any of that stuff. Or Shadows of Brimstone because there's like 1,000 expansions for it, and it's like keeping. If that was the only game you kept, it would still take up like half a room. Probably, maybe Eldritch Horror.
Probably.
Or Arkham Horror Second Edition.
Yeah, I would probably maybe change my choice to something else.
It's not. You were so enthused about it being Augustus.
Yeah, but then I would be sad if I never got to be Joe Diamond again.
But what if at kind of game 50 of Augustus you started to think, I'm getting a bit sick of this now.
I've mastered Raymond Bingo.
So I'll keep Arkham Horror Second Edition. You keep Augustus.
Yeah, I'll keep Augustus.
And when we're bored of losing at Arkham, can play Augustus. Some companies would use acrylic standees. Oh, people mentioned acrylic standees before I did. Yeah, they do look awesome, and yeah, you can just kind of store them all flat, can't you, as well? But they're like still with standees and things. They look beautiful in Agamotto, didn't they? In Gloomhaven, it all looks fine with them. Like a good compromise, like Tales of the Red Dragon Inn, Tales from the Red Dragon Inn. Like a cool compromise with all of them is have minis just for the characters and then standees for everyone else. Like I don't mind that as well, because that's the thing where I know that it's like their vision for like Kingdom Death Monster. The whole point is fancy deluxe minis that happens to have a game attached to it, but it makes it so kind of huge and cost prohibitive. Not that I haven't got expensive games about, but it's like that has to be one of your only games to get the worth out of that. And then I'm going to slap all of my speed painting guff on it.
Does the job.
It looks alright. When it gets to the point where you've forgotten the mistakes you made when you were painting it, you'll probably never find those mistakes again. You'll never look that closely again. Acrylic standee is a lot better than minis. Yeah, there's some that look great. Chips, yeah. Chip theory games. It's always fine for Too Many Bones, wasn't it?
Yeah.
And we'll see in Elder Scrolls at some point. Derek from Kanjay Studios has got an Elder Scrolls already, Rach.
Lucky.
He's got a fancy one. But I think people are getting it in the UK right now, but I think it's mid-Feb. So there's a lot of February arrivals for some pretty cool things. Hey Lynette, how's it going? Feel he's finally getting up to 0 degrees. I think we've started to rise from 0 degrees. I think we're at about 3, 4 this week. So we're graduating. That's basically summer for England. Ellen's asking why Little Alchemist is not in your top games. It's mentioned in the top games of last year. I think if we'd opened that last box, it would be right in there. But Little Alchemist is absolutely fantastic game, especially if you've got a Little Alchemist to play with. You might be a bit lost if it was just all adults playing it.
Or big alchemists.
But yeah, like, well, Big Alchemist
You need a little alchemists.
Big Alchemist you didn't really enjoy, did you? You didn't like the...
No, but you're contemplating getting again.
Well, I'm kind of, especially as we get... So we've played a fair bit of Little Alchemists with us and our friends, and a Little Alchemist who is pretty great at the game as well. I think has won a lot of games, and we've won. So like it's like a logic. It's like a My First Logic game. Not like crazy simple, but it's quite simple at the start, isn't it?
Simple, yeah.
Yeah, you put 2 components together, make a potion, and eventually people will come out that want to buy a certain color of potion. Can you make that for them when they're out? You get more money that way. And then gradually it starts, oh, you've played it enough times, open this box, and it starts to add more and more things to it of like, oh, well, now, like, each ingredient will only make 2 different kinds of potions. So, like, you can make a theory in this board for which it makes. Then you can get pets and stuff in it. So it's like just incrementally making it harder and harder. We unlocked jigsaw pieces last time, didn't we?
Yeah, we've got new ingredient.
But that was like, that is one of the best like off-camera things of last year, actually. Of like going through that.
Yeah.
It has done so well, and the app works really cool as well, and that can teach it all to you. It's really good. Question: are you going to the UK Games Expo? I don't know, because that question was pre-announcement because of the baby. That's why a lot of things are like, the intention was, had such a good time at Essen last year, I really want to go to Essen again, and tentatively cancelable things are booked. Because who knows what the situation's going to be. Because like, maybe I'll just be there for 1 day or something at the expo. Maybe Rach will be parading the baby about. But it would be a very little baby. When's Expo? Expo's
June.
Right. Well, yeah, it's right at the beginning of June, though, isn't it? It's like sometimes at the end of May. What are the dates for this year? Yeah, 30th of May to the 1st of June.
Probably not.
No, probably. I don't think Rach will be there. I think hopefully I'll go because it's always a good time.
You've got
But
friends you can go with.
yeah, maybe we'll just go on a maybe I'll just go on the Sunday or something like that. But it depends.
Take Ben,
Yeah,
your
take
brother.
my brother, introduce him into the big world of board games. Yeah, I don't know if we're in like the path of the storm. As I said at the start, it's been dead windy, and people's bins are getting blown about, but it's not ripped any more trees out of the ground like other
Like last time.
yeah like whatever the last storm was did. What underused game theme would you like to see more of, Rach?
Don't know. Don't put me on the spot.
I
Cooking.
always like
Cooking.
cooking. Yeah, there isn't a lot, is there?
No.
There's that. What was that game we had? A la carte. You liked that a
I
lot more
want
than me.
like running a restaurant. Like actually running a restaurant.
Like a
Yeah, like what you play
like
like
more of a sim game,
restaurant simulators on video
like a
games. Why
restaurant
can't you
tycoon.
have or like similar supermarket simulator, but as a board game?
Yeah.
How good would that be?
Well, we've got supermarket sweep, Rach,
Yeah, but you know,
but a game that's been made in the last 30 years. Yeah, that would be good because you've got like you don't have to change like Kitchen Rush has got a bit of that element to it, but you don't really. You're not building stuff up, are you? You're having stuff imposed on you and deciding to make it more difficult with dishes and things. But you mean like, do you mean basically like plate up?
could do,
We
yeah.
were playing plate
Yeah.
up over Christmas. There's a bit of
Or having a like having a little restaurant that you can run and like upgrade your upgrading your
yeah.
restaurant and your menu
Well, you could.
to make the
That's
most money, and you want to get like VIPs in and
that'd
like
be
food critics.
our tip if you're watching. That'd be a good a campaign expansion for Kitchen Rush where you start out small and then you can start adding more ovens, dishes. Critics start coming in, add more tables and things. I don't know how that would jive with the kind of frantic real time
What would
aspect of
your
it.
answer be?
Well, I've always said music before, but with like
There's more music
Rock
coming
Hard
out. Yeah.
1977 and there's a Martin Wallace like be a rock star, get famous kind of game. So I think it's not as underused anymore.
Something else.
And like
Hospital themes seem to have died off, and theme park themes, I guess.
I think a lot got done.
Mm.
And I said like I've thought wrestling before, but there is like wrestling games. But I'm thinking kind of more the management. I'm thinking the old-fashioned SmackDown, like make your roster kind of thing,
Yeah.
rather than an actual. I'm not so fussed about just a card game where it's the matches and stuff. But I don't know how you would make a sort of just a spread like a solo journaling game where you run a wrestling franchise. You could do it like that, but I probably wouldn't really play that. I've tried a couple of solo journaling things. I'm not very good at doing that kind of thing. Iron Swarm worked okay. Thank you everyone for the congrats.
Unsettled was March. That seems so long ago.
I was thinking it's about a year.
I don't have a very
And
good concept of time though.
and a lot of those things that we did last year, we kind of filmed them early on, didn't we? We were filming them all kind of March, April. Even that Slay the Spy that we did together, it didn't come out for ages. I think there were like a few blocks where we filmed loads of things, and then they gradually, bit by bit, came out. Yeah, it was ages ago. I think we played the first planet. We played like a planet made of plants, didn't we? That wasn't the first one where you could kind of in the version we were playing anyway, because it changes, doesn't it, through the different missions. In the version we were playing, we could kind of bounce across the planet instead of needing to move too much. I think at some point it told us we couldn't move, we had to bounce
Yeah.
through the planet, and you could kind of manipulate that a little bit. But it's a really cool it's really cool discovering the particular quirks of your planet and like not just how you're going to fulfill that mission that you're on, but how like what the character of the planet is and what the kind of underlying not that there's like a big story written, but every planet's got its own little thing going on, isn't it? baby slickerdrips. In a few years, seeing all the Habba games getting played through. I really like the protective film on acrylic standees. I really like it on the what's as well when you get like Mystic Veil, where it's like the what are the cards made of? The clear plastic cards. We have to peel it off both sides of those as well. Sometimes frustrating,
I was
but
gonna say you get the ones that just won't.
when you get
Get
into
off.
a groove of it, it's really satisfying ripping all of that off. Hi, Michael. Does that mean the games room will now become a nursery? The secondary game room has to become a nursery. The thing that's supposed to be a spare room, but is
That
kind of
houses all the
that houses
stuff.
the extra piles of games. Loads of that needs reducing. It'll happen. It's been happening. We'll have to bring it down. But yeah, there'll be a not. It won't be this room. It just means there'll have to be less games about. I think Rach. I think if how many games would you cut it down to, Rach?
I mean, at least half.
There's probably like half the games that you don't like.
Like there's these shelves, but then there's like shelves over there,
The shelves
and
downstairs.
on the floor there's games on the floor still, not even on the shelves.
Yeah, you
in
can't
this
see all of
room.
the shelves.
Um,
There are spaces on the shelves as well.
Yeah, there's more than what you could imagine.
Because there's like the gaps are being made, but there's no point filling them yet until we see once we see what's left. Then they can start getting organised again.
Yeah.
But yeah, there needs to be a lot less. Augustus is great. I wouldn't put it near my favourite games like Rach. It was in your top 10, wasn't it? It's quite high in your top 10.
Yeah.
I don't think it was like. Where's my. Forgot my channel manager. Search Rach. Oh, doing Eldritch Horror with Paul was
This was a long time
fun
ago.
as well. It was 2019, 2020, September 2020. If you haven't seen it,
Don't watch it because it's so long ago.
Rach's top 10 games were done in
This probably
2019,
doesn't even
which she probably
be
wouldn't.
true anymore.
Yeah, well, like mine is from summer 2019, I think, and I would change loads of that now. But Augustus for you was number 5. 5. You put Medora as number 1, which we've still got, and is another one of those campaign games that get to one day, but every time we tried twice, haven't we?
Everything on there, like when you think so, like Queen's Architects haven't played that for about 50 years. Among
No,
the
we've
Stars, same thing.
We played Queen's Architect a couple of years ago on a stream.
A long
Among
time
the Stars
ago.
we haven't played for ages. Suburbia even longer.
We played War for the Galaxy not that long ago.
Yeah.
I say that, probably like a year. Nations haven't played that for years.
Augustus, it's not too long ago. A couple of years, but not too long ago. Kanban, you haven't played for a long, long time.
Play the new one.
You haven't?
I have played the new one.
You sure?
Yes, positive. Was I here for your video?
No.
We've played it downstairs.
Have we?
Yeah.
So since EV's come out, we've played it. Gloomhaven, well, Frosthaven, not too long. We were streaming it, weren't we? Trajan is the one of the most recent. Because did we do that last year together? We did a solo game together, didn't we, of Trajan last year? And then Medora, it's been a few years. I think we did the whole of Chapter 1, which is like a huge chunk of game. Sounds just like it's a little bit.
We've just done that twice. Like, we haven't got any further into the game. We've done the same part twice.
Yeah. Because like a big update came out for it. So I got the update pack, did all of the stuff to like replaces all the cards in the game, and we've changed all of this stuff. So well, maybe we should replay from the beginning again. So we did that, got to about the same point again, put it away for something else. So it's been a few years, and now there's another update pack for it.
The curse of putting it away once the game's put away.
Yeah. Well, we need
Well, that's happened with Marvel United now.
But Marvel United, it's kind of half out still.
Yeah.
And it's Marvel United's a lot easier to just get out, and it being only like that's why we played it about 30 times, just because it's like a 20-minute game, isn't it? Like we can play it a ton of times. James, you not have painted any of your Marvel United minis. It's all about speed paints, James. They've been a revelation for me. Combine, yeah, make Augustus Horror Ranch. See if you can incorporate bingo into Arkham Horror Second Edition, so we only have to keep one box. Have you heard of Soul Raiders just delivered? Soul Raiders? Have I? It wasn't on my anticipated list. I have seen it. From Marc Andre. Did he design Splendor? Yes. A story-driven cooperative game. Ooh. Created by he's a best-selling author. Marc Andre of Splendor. Fast-paced narrative game that players become powerful heroes, able to roam freely in a variety of settings, cooperating to overcome the threat of an impending doom before it's too late. An epic narrative game, a fast-paced and cinematic game system, building cooperative tension, narrative story with strong replay value. More than 1,000 cards. And then those headlines that I just said. Again. Well, I'd seen pictures of it and not really registered it, but that sounds pretty cool with all those things laid out. Uh-oh. Hello? Are we back? We just dropped out for some reason. Hopefully it wasn't too long. I was just looking up Soul Raiders and reading bits out of that. If it cut out the bit where I said that, it sounds really cool, and I've subscribed now. I'll keep an eye out for that. Tom and Rach have got so much to look forward to. Chewed game pieces, sick on boards, and torn rule books. Yeah. So we can get... You can get doors, can't you, for Kallax cubes? But inevitably, it's just going to go wrong, innit? More and more things up here.
Good luck fitting them up here.
Yeah. We'll see. You rush. Yeah, like 11 is like, yeah, that's probably the best kind of, well, you literally are a football manager, but in terms of like a management tycoon kind of game, that was a really good one. Walkstar is a co-op food themed game. We've got Walkstar.
Walkstar is good. We do like
Yeah,
Walkstar?
we've still got Walkstar. I don't know if you can really see it. It's by Fliptown, right on that top shelf in the corner. Yeah, Walkstar's really good. Hey Dale, how's it going? There is a brand new gamer on the way. We'll play Marvel Champions in no time. Gaps should not be refilled. But then we can get the games off the floor, Joel.
That's the only reason gaps should be refilled.
And what about all of these exciting games that are coming out? Thank you. Jose, as a recent father as myself, the best advice I can give you is watch out for the meeples. They have the fastest and stealthiest hands you can even imagine.
We can imagine.
No play and Rampage. Yeah, there's going to have to be a lot of baby proofing stuff. The paint station will have to move.
Not for a while.
No.
We've got a good few months, haven't we? Where...
Yeah, there'll have to be a sharp transition.
Should be mobile.
There'll have to be a sharp transition to stuff in the next 6-ish months or so. We'll see how it goes, won't we? We're away just for a couple of seconds. Oh, that's all right then. Yeah, as soon as we were kind of alerted that it had broken, it seemed to fix itself. So it's not too bad. Watching all Dale's Shadows of Brimstone videos this week. It does got some great Shadows of Brimstone videos. Great Marvel Champion stuff. Just check out his channel in general. I want to do some Shadows of Brimstone stuff soon. It keeps getting pushed back because time keeps rolling on. But see, it's building up again. I just need to remember how I organised it all. And we'll be playing again. And what Marty will think to a new little human. That's kind of a big concern as well.
Because I think he will hate it.
Because Marty, apart from us, Marty
hates people.
Hates everyone. He doesn't hate your friend.
No, he likes my friend.
Yeah, as he's always like been a kind of nervous cat. But as he's gotten older, he's a grumpy old man with people, and in the last couple of years, he's introduced hissing at strangers and stuff,
Yes.
and yeah. So we'll see. He's got no choice. Like, but
I do think he'll hate it in the way that he'll just hide.
yeah,
Like, he won't do anything.
yeah. Maybe it'll there'll be so much noise and stuff. He might just want to be nowhere near anyway. But yeah, hopefully they'll become best of friends. Shadows of Brimstone also a video game? I don't think so. Although that would be really cool if they did a digital one of it as well. Get the Gloomhaven app developers on the Shadows of Brimstone stuff, but imagine the cost of all the DLC for that. Make all of those expansion packs DLC. Not as much as the games cost. Any plans for any other type of videos other than playthroughs? More Q&As, top 10s, and so on. Like, we always intend that the Q&As are going to be kind of semi-regular. Not that they, not necessarily that they'll be monthly things, but that they'll be kind of often. But then we keep looking back and seeing, oh, the last one we did was like 9 months ago. It seems to remember every 9 months. There'll definitely be one around like, well, actually, I say that there probably won't be one around the anniversary of the channel, because if you miss us early, that's when our baby is due. So usual anniversary things might have to be prepared in advance this year.
Maybe.
But yeah, generally more often. And I've been meaning to do, as said, like my top 10 was done in of like I did a top 50, didn't I, of all time in 2019. So like that's changed massively, like in the last 6 years, just generally anyway, with new things coming out. But yeah, there's been some big shifts in gaming too, and I'd like to get all of that updated, but it just stuff keeps coming up and things take longer than they're meant to. But it seems like things are getting back into the swing of things now. I need to catch up on some of this stuff. Like, there's a lot of stuff in general in piles and things here that need catching up on. But S&E things, I'm trying. The kind of big things are up in them couple of cubes. That's their designated section. But yeah, I want there to be things like that. And like when I did that top 10 horror games, I think that was about a year ago. It's just like randomly felt like doing it, and then really enjoyed doing it, and it got a good reaction, and then one didn't really occur to me again after that. But yeah, I'd like to do a proper, at least like top 10 or something, or some kind of, even if it's like a ranking stream or something. I know Paul on Gaming Rules has done a few of them. Not like, I think he did his entire collection on Pub Meeple, which I think I did that in 2019 off stream to work out the top 10 eventually, but it's comparing too many games. I'm not doing that again. There will be, hopefully this time I'll remember to update the top 10 of the year, because definitely Spectacular's missing from it. I was really annoyed about that. But there's some games still that we haven't played, and some that I've played more. Like, I'd only kind of done the tutorials of Metal Gear Solid at the end of the year, and I've played like some more stages now and some boss fights and things. I'm really, really enjoying that. But that's kind of partly a massive dose of nostalgia for the video game and how they've adapted various bits of it. But it's a really cool game as well. It's designed by Emerson Matsuuchi, who designed the Century games, Century Spice Road, and he did Foundations of Rome, which I haven't played, but I have Foundations of Metropolis. I can't work out how to get my finger to point at bits that I need to try out. But yeah, that needs updating as well. And Rach's top 10 of all time needs updating. Would Marvel United be in it?
Probably.
Augustus, Marvel United. Legendary. Cthulhu Death May Die.
Maybe.
Maybe. Not as certain in there. Just trying to help you out, Rach.
I know, I'm sorry, Joel. You were trying to help me out.
We can't just have gaps on the Cal Access. That's an invitation to buy more games.
I'm sorry, if there's a game on the floor, it's going in the gap.
Hey, Julian, we've tried hiding from your kids and hissing at them, but they still keep trying to me. There might be a word missing. to keep trying to get other games. I imagine like there's going to be some kind of like Home Alone disaster in there where.
He's comparing himself to Marty.
Oh right, I get you. I was lost there.
I got you. I got you, Julian.
I was lost. Yeah, Marty's hissing isn't successful either. It's hissing at the wrong people.
No,
Or
and we get moaned at. Why is he hissing at me?
you got to take your time with him. He wants
Just
affection.
avoid him.
He wants affection just on completely on his own terms. He'll let you know when he wants to be stroked or wants to
If
cuddle.
you do one more stroke than what he's prepared for, well,
Yeah.
rue the day.
He's very independent. It's completely on his own time.
He is mean. He is very mean.
If you want to slightly change positions, or you dare to talk while he's on you, or you breathe too heavily, he's off. Very demanding. Little king. Oh, thanks, Dale. Thanks for popping in. Shall I find any goals for the channel as a whole, like reaching a certain amount of subs or something? Yeah, I would like it to, like, it always. I think probably for the last few years, it always grows like at a steady rate, like it, which is cool that like it doesn't slow down or like, but it doesn't speed up massively either. Like it's coming up to. We're still a way away, but it would be cool to get to 25,000 subscribers. Like we did 20,000 last year, which is a pretty immense number. And there's like I haven't checked it soon. Oh, one thing that's coming up, I need to check on the list. I haven't updated the geek list for a little while. That counts the number of playthroughs because we're coming up to 1,000. I don't know if we've already done it. Where was our last time? We've definitely done 900. I think we did Castles of Burgundy as 900, so I haven't updated it since then. April? Well, I didn't do 100, I don't think. It's conceivable I might have done 100. We might be coming up to 1,000 really soon. Okay, I need to get on that. But when? Yeah, 1,000 playthroughs is coming up at some point. I have to think of something special to do for that. So that'll be pretty big. And it's like, there's more than 1,000 videos, but numbered playthroughs that are on that list, it's getting to a lot of them. And it would be nice as well to like there isn't like a specific goal on Patreon, I don't think anymore. I don't know if they took that away or I took it off or something like that. But it would be amazing to get to 300 patrons. What are we on? 269 right now. Hey, it will be amazing. I haven't got the live things on here because it's the live stream stuff. But
you.
yeah, patreon.com/slickerdrips. I think if I turn them on, it turns my face on. Oh, there you go. It's because I've been recording things and I turn them off so I can manipulate it later. Patreon.com/slickerdrips if you would like to support the channel. It's how I'm able to do most of the things. Most of the things aren't sponsored. They're funded by that. And hey, there's a baby on the way.
There is a baby on the way, everyone.
Yeah, there's a third player to fund. But yeah, those things. Well, the numbered things will happen eventually. Anyway, but the Patreon thing would be really cool. She's thinking of Grim Dawn. Oh yeah, that does look kind of Shadows of Brimstone. That does look
oh yeah,
westerny, doesn't it?
We did have a little try of that, but not really our kind of thing.
Will we do some print and play games? We don't do a lot. Sometimes we do with prototypes and stuff. I always do, but they're sponsored videos initially. But like I always do it with the Postmark games. That's kind of the most recent thing. The other one is. So, is it Joe Liddell? Clipfell, who designed Gloomhaven Buttons and Bugs, co-designed that and designed Gloomholding. There is a Rome game that's apparently Mage Knighty. It is you are building up Rome, but it's like kind of inspired by Mage Knight. It is called Rome: Fate of an Empire, that has had like a run on, I think like a small run on Kickstarter and stuff, and I do see it popping up on eBay for like 75 quid. It's maybe didn't have that big a run. I don't think it's available outside America, but you can buy it for like $5 if you're willing to print and play it. So that's something that like I nearly did it around Christmas, and I thought, well, when are you going to make that? When are you going to play it if you do? But that's something that I like. If I was going to, I would do that, and I want to get all of the other bits printed for. So this is if you haven't seen my videos on it, this is 52 Realms Adventures, which is a amazing solo dungeon crawl game you play with a deck of cards from Postmark Games, which I printed those out for the sponsored video that I did, and then I think I did another one anyway after that. But there's more characters, there's more dungeons that you can mix and match in there too. Like, I want to play some more of that. Thanks, Jackpot Man. Have a good evening. Julian just says that doll with the glasses on behind the shelf. Which one? Do you mean Lloyd Grossman or Davy Stott or Davy Stott? Just trying to think if it's Donald or Davy. Yeah, who do you resemble, Julia?
Well, this one's got a mustache, which matches the
Oh yeah.
picture.
Am I getting my Stotts confused? It's one of the Stotts anyway. It's Donald or Davy Stott, which you can probably find more out about on YouTube. You can't get these anymore, can you?
No.
People have asked about how to get them.
They were sold on Etsy by this lovely lady who crocheted them like to demand. You could get yourself crocheted, and she stopped.
What if she's back though?
I don't think
someone
so.
did a cross stitch of the Stotts.
That's nice.
That is now unavailable. We're just looking up Vic and Bob things on.
I've got her
Etsy.
I don't know if I've got her shop saved.
Yeah, unfortunately she did.
But I was really
she stopped
sad.
making things, which was unfortunate. Because our dice trays as well. The person that made all those Pokemon dice trays and stuff that we had.
I think it's Mrs. Harrison Makes.
Oh, we dropped out again. Hopefully that wasn't for too long. Yeah, the shop was called Nice That. One word on Etsy.
Search up Mrs. Harrison.
And yeah, she's still on a break.
I'm sure it was
August 22. She went on a break.
Mrs. Harrison's Makes. I'm sure it was.
Mrs.
Yeah.
No, I don't think they're on Etsy anymore.
No.
Yeah, they were cool while they were on there. One of the Gabe Barrett solo monthly games. Yeah, the solo. Is it solo games for one? The best with one games. Renovated for an Empire is really good. It looks really cool. I ordered. It's just come actually. It's still sealed. There is a game called from the same designer. It's called Behold Rome, I think. That is same theme, but that's a Civ building game that you play entirely in your hand. It's like a 14 card game, something like that, and you play it entirely in your hand somehow. It seemed like a cool idea, and I thought like, oh well, if I can't get the Rome Fate of an Empire, I'll give this a go. Well, that was and it's not crowdfunding, is it, on GameCrafter, but it's like so many people buy it, the price goes down, that kind of thing. Chip Theory Games said in their last live stream they're doing some sort of Gloom Hold'em like game as straight to their online shop with Joe. That would be really cool. I haven't seen that. I wonder if that's on as it might not have been fully announced yet, but I wonder if it's on Board Game Geek. Denizens the Hero War is from Mythfield Games. Battles between factions. Not bothered about that. Oh, it's solo as well, though, so I am bothered. We're not going to fight each other, but I wonder if Mythfield is like a company they've made. Adventure Cats, Rach. A co-design with his daughter Verna, 7 years old at the time of publishing. We'll have a look at that.
Ages 5+.
Yeah, I'm interested. What he makes for a ship theory. That'll be cool. Lena, have you guys played any button shy games? It's one thing that I feel like I'm missing out on as they come out. Isn't the one that's like a cup of tea one that's just come out? We have played
What were those little games?
Sprawlopolis
Yeah.
and
In those little.
Is it Mussy Tussie? Tussie Mussy. Almost. I think those are the only two that we've played so far. I think Sprawlopolis had a couple of expansions. It didn't look like that, I don't think. We had versions that were in boxes rather than like the lovely wallet things. It's called a nice cuppa. Like you can do them print and play as well, can't you? It's just one of them things that like I know I'm not going to do it, or I might get around to printing it and then it'll go in a pile of stuff and I won't get around to playing it. But I'm interested in a game based on getting rid of your worries with a cup of tea. Hey, Knob Monkey, do you have a collection size limit and how do you go about keeping to it? Not really, because I don't tend to keep the collection stuff updated on Board Game Geek. So it's hard for me to know how many. The restriction's supposed to be, and when we moved, which was a few years ago now, it did get to these shelves are it. Get the games to fit on those shelves. I think we did that and maybe had a bit of room to spare. But since moving, it's there's a lot of extra shelves downstairs. There's a lot of piles of things. There have been several kind of big pushes to bring it down, and we're currently in a big.
We're in a big push.
Yeah, loads of stuff has gone, for better or for worse. Because most of it you can get it back, and I've gotten stuff back.
And then sold it again.
And then sold it again, yeah. But because I think was it about 300? It's hard to see on because on Board Game Geek when you look, it's got expansions, and some of those expansions that it says I've got, like I've got so many hundred expansions. Some of them are like a promo code. That's an expansion. Oh yes. That hasn't updated it still. 299. I can't remember the last time I did that, so it'll be less now, I'm sure. But 300 is the mark of too much, and that includes like the shelves of tiny games of the game and the Can't
It's
Stop
crazy
Express
because
and all
like
that.
you'd never play all those games in a year.
No, it's too many. But at the same time,
It
like
is hard.
every time you're looking at a load of stuff,
And like I suppose in your line of what you do, you never know when like you might play a game again.
yeah,
It might come up in a vote. Someone might request a game, and it would suck if we just sold it or something.
yeah, and I've gotten things back before, I think, that have been kind of requested or suggested, not massively, because I do tend to like I'll taste the line a lot of the time. Strange that. But yeah, that's the kind of thing as well. Like, not having a. I want things to be able to pick out anyway, even though you don't need this many. But there's also that thing of, oh, I'd like to do a video for that one day. Like that still hasn't had one. And there's things that have had to go that it's like, oh, I suppose we'll just have to never do that then. But yeah, that's part of it as well. So because like I can't afford to get like say not everyone sends me the new games that come out. Most people don't send me the new games that come out, and I can't afford to get like
No.
massive quantities all of the time. Although Patreon helps everyone. That is genuinely the fund that gets all of the new games. But I can't remember what I was going to say. Oh yeah, so like can't always be new things, and it's always nice dipping back into all of the other stuff as well. Like even so, I've done it a few times now, but Lisboa that I did the other day, like I last did that 3.5 years ago, and it's like always like a shock that it's been that long since I've played it or done a video for it. I'm like yeah, just because like there's so many other things that need to be done in the first place, and it's like always a balance of like I know people want to see all the new things, and sometimes people are excited to see certain old things pop up. You can never quite know what's you never know what's gonna like do well as a video. Just have to play things that you're excited about and hope that it all works out. But yeah, it's partly keeping things so we've got some variety and stuff as well to play as well as to film, so that we could pick a lot of stuff off. But our gaming together is a lot more co-op now, isn't it? It's majority co-op stuff.
Yeah.
There'll be a load of things like we'll try out new stuff as well, but and there'll be a load of Trajan-y Burgundy things that'll never go away. But yeah, generally what we play together is co-op things now. And there's some things that's driving some of the get rid of stuff that I can't bring myself to get rid of Agricola or Trois. But certain games like that Rach doesn't like at all. How many games can I keep that Rach doesn't like at all? I've got to keep a few. 100? Was that 100?
No.
You missed the one off the beginning. You missed the one off the beginning of that. I can keep 100 games Rach doesn't like. Agents of Smersh Rach. When's the last time we played Agents of Smersh? I think that's like at least a year ago on a Christmas. And that might have been that. No, we haven't got that version.
Oh, thank goodness.
We've got the good old Smersh. We did the fancy version June 23. I'm thinking of the Christmas before that. January 23, that went up. So we filmed it before Christmas 22. That's the last time we played Agents of Smersh. Just can't keep looking into that because it'll just be horrified of how long it's been since we've played things. But yeah, it's space drives it more than anything. It's why it's like I could get rid of 50 things off the tiny game shelf and like, oh great, I've reduced the collection by 50 games, but oh, you've freed up half a tiny shelf. What's that doing to all of these things? It's like size is driving it more than the numbers. And as I said, it's got to shrink down to mostly this room, and there are big gaps. But yeah, it'll happen. I always think like it's a lot nicer in here as well when everything's just on, and in the house generally.
When you can move on the floor.
Yeah, when stuff's just in the shelves and you see that, oh, actually, it's not that tiny a room. It's just that it's got massive things of games everywhere. And things need, as saying earlier about the 3D printed stuff, Mansions of Madness is a nightmare for storing all these things about. I've got an empty Friends DVD box set that's holding the room tiles.
It's like we've said, I don't count expansions, they're free. Well, some expansions do not fit in the box and they need their own box space. I don't count them as free.
Yeah.
Mansions is in many boxes.
Yeah, Mansions is like a cube to itself.
Arkham is in
Arkham
several
Horror,
boxes.
Eldritch Horror is a cube to itself.
But even like around here, like if the expansions don't fit in the main game box, they're not free.
They generally do. But yeah, there's only a few where like Grand Austria Hotel it doesn't fit in the box and stuff. And then there's other things like Shadows of Brimstone is currently
100% not free.
That Kallax cube. That thing underneath, all those card drawers, that's just for Shadows of Brimstone. It's not full. But
there's minis over there.
Yeah, there's a little shelf with a big box of minis in it, and then there is an entire... This bookcase nearest the door here, the bottom shelf of that is all minis for Shadows of Brimstone. That's probably the game it's probably tied with Marvel United for game that's taken up the most amount of space.
Yeah, 100% not free.
But the Marvel United minis are displayed in a bit of a nicer way.
Yeah, they're small. Well, I say they're smaller. There's probably less of them in the end.
Probably.
We've got a ton of them.
Until Galactus comes out, to where he's going to go. Hey Josh, what's your current go-to pocket game when going out with friends to the pub? We don't go to places.
What's the pub? That's not for us.
But it would be like, it'd probably be the game, which is ages old now.
You just need a little go-to game to take a friend's house on gaming night, like a little filler. The game.
In terms of like,
what's it called? Black Trip? No.
We don't.
The painting game.
Balrati. We don't get as many of them anymore as well because we don't tend to play them together so much. We do get them sometimes, but our references for them are probably quite old now.
Yeah.
Like the game is always a favourite. I think we've all got a copy of the game. It never needs taking anywhere.
Six nymphs.
Six Nymphs is a really good one. And Can't Stop Express. Can't Stop is like the downside is it's big for its filler
Yeah, Can't Stop
status.
Express is
But
not
Can't
bad.
Stop Express, disconnected and reconnected again. So it's probably been a while since we played Six Nymphs and stuff. Yeah, box size is the issue, and that's why like it's so one of them maybe like Imperial. Like Imperial was a cool idea and a great train game, but like one of the major things it's got against it is that's one whole Kallax cube for that game.
But also, box size is the issue. Also, you then because you're trying to get rid of those games because they're so huge, but then you've got to send those games to somebody, and that's a huge game
Yeah.
to be trying
Just give
to
it someone.
shift somewhere.
Just give it someone, they can have it.
Trying to shift somewhere.
Belratti is awesome. I think Belratti got a better, well, not better, because the original version is great. It's the one we've got. I think Belratti got a bigger release recently. It's released by Cosmos now. When was that? Maybe I'm out of date on that. Yeah, 2024. German in 23. That just came out in English. So it doesn't look like this anymore. But if you're not familiar with Belratti, it's probably been ages since we've played it. You need at least 3 players to play it. So this is like probably one of the only games we have where you need there's a box of kind of combined party games, but Belratti is probably one of the only 3+ ones we keep where like there's how do you even play it now? There's connections, isn't there, to like certain artworks are going into the gallery and players are playing cards of a certain category, but also Belratti is making forgeries trying to get them into the museum. So it splits 2 roles. One person's the buyer and everyone else is a painter, aren't they? And you're choosing a card from your hand to paint. The game presents 2 cards as topics for which the buyers need to buy
fakes,
painter.
don't you?
Yeah. So like they ask the card will say like, here's the topic and I need this many cards from you. And then the painters pick these and they're just pictures like to fit these vague topics. And then we get additional cards just from the deck that are Belratti's fakes. They're all shuffled up, and then the buyer's got to pick which ones the players picked and not pick Belratti's fakes that are just off the top of the deck. But sometimes it's happened where we've picked some great things for the topics, and then the Belratti fakes that have come out are like perfect, and so there's no way you wouldn't pick them. But it's a cool kind of like restricted communication, not quite Dixit kind of stuff, but that kind of thing. It's not like dreamlike art and stuff, but it's that kind of thing where you're trying to silently make people think along your lines. But that was really good. Interesting to see all. Yeah, slowly. I think all of the things downstairs will have to transition to be like toy Kallaxes rather than board game Kallaxes. But we'll see. Hey, birds on board. How's it going? How many board games can you legitimately fit? None.
We already are culling.
Yeah, we're in a constant state of culling because like
culling never stops.
You can't see. You can kind of see there's a gap. I can't get the reverse right. There is a big gap behind Walnut Grove.
It is quite big.
There are gaps on the cubes you can't see because we're in a state of flux. So when that's all sorted, we'll see where everything can fit. But yeah, I have to constantly be in that because stuff's always arriving and always playing great stuff, but I can't. I've got no more space that I can dedicate it to. I've gotten away with for years of living here now. Like I didn't used to put anything in the spare room. There's only like a little box room, but I didn't have anything in there. And gradually it's become the secondary game.
Yes, it is currently not in a state to be turned into a nursery.
It needs to be turned into a nursery very soon. So yeah, there's a pretty crucial time limit on trimming it all down, but it's getting there. And while doing that, I've got to learn and play all of the new things that are coming up. It works out though, doesn't it? Somehow. So, Rach,
Mhm.
so you can have some dinner.
Yeah.
Shall we call it there? We've caught up anyway. Have the gaps been spoken for already? Kind of, because
There's
there's
the,
piles of games on
yeah,
the
there's like 2 piles of games on the floor down
yeah.
there.
But the piles are in categories
They are.
of things that I need to play. One of the piles is just Shadows of Brimstone stuff that I need to build. And Walnut Grove is great because kind of think, oh, we haven't played Walnut Grove for ages, but we played it. That's probably a couple of years ago now, and we're like, oh, that's really good. Pick a game to colour right now. Instead, I'm thinking of Suburbia. I'm thinking like it's one of the things where you think, oh, like we should play it and see does it hold up now. But when we're going to do that,
Is it on Board Game Arena?
I don't think it is. There is an app,
If it was on Board Game Arena, we could play it.
and then I'm like, Steve's getting me excited about El Paso and new games
Stop
that are
it,
coming up.
Steve.
It's all Steve's fault.
Stop inviting
I
him to
said
games.
I said I would never buy a game again. But if anyone's wondering, if you know someone that can that can alpha test on Board Game Arena, get a game of Great Western Trail El Paso on. It is great, and I'm only kind of half a game into an online adaptation of it that's in alpha, but I'm very excited, and I'm leaning towards the final release. It might be better than Great Western Trail.
I didn't enjoy it. We played a game of Great Western Trail on Board Game Arena, and I did not enjoy it. But I also I read the rules, but then I think there was a big gap between moves, and then I
Yeah.
forgot the rules. I think that's when we were
I think you were-
away in the
yeah.
summer.
Yes, we were on holiday as well,
So
trying to
I
learn
didn't
it.
enjoy it, but I didn't like the hands things, which isn't in.
Well, the hands are
Yeah.
completely gone from El Paso. It's fast Great Western Trail. It's like 30 to 60 minute game of Great Western Trail.
But I don't think I was a big fan of it in the first place. But I agreed to play these games on Board Game Arena, and then I
You
mean,
got to remind yourself.
I am continuously and constantly in games
Well,
of Castles of Burgundy, and I'm still no better at it. I've got 2 on the go right now.
I would say my number one wish list for Board Game Arena is more cooperative games.
Yeah, that would be nice.
There are some, but whenever you go into the
Yeah, there's not many.
cooperative category, there is Pandemic.
We did have a
But
go.
I think is it just base Pandemic?
Yeah, we had a go at it, but we weren't.
Yeah, they're like it's cool. Pandemic is amazing, but could we put in the lab in there?
And then we had a go at something else as
Daybreak
well,
we didn't enjoy.
where we were like dungeon crawling or something.
We were dungeon crawling.
I'm sure we did.
Co-op.
Mini Rogue.
Oh yeah.
We played that, but again, I don't think that they're great. I mean, people might think they're amazing games.
There's only a little page
Yeah,
of
it's not many.
of co-op stuff.
But people like competitive, don't they?
Yeah. You get more co-op things on
And
there.
you can go online and you can just beat strangers for fun.
Fantasy
so-
Flight. I know you don't really make things anymore, but come on adaptations of Eldritch Horror, get it all on there.
That'd be great.
People would love that. But there's always like so much stuff getting added to it all the time. It's well worth the premium subscription.
Well, if you're part of the Discord, you can get in on the action with us.
Yeah, join the Patreon, which automatically puts you in the Discord, and there's a Board Game Arena thing in there where we're joining games all about, and we are 50% through our El Paso game. Unfortunately, though, we're only in there thanks to Chris. Thanks, Chris, for inviting us. But you've got to be an alpha tester. You've got to have played like 700 games or something on Board Game Arena. I'm nowhere near that. About 300, I think. Which is still a lot of games. Kind of in the we played Board Game Arena years ago, didn't we? Like 2014 kind of time.
Yeah.
But we mainly played on Yukata, which is still there. We still could play on Yukata. It's got different games on.
So I don't really like playing strangers, particularly because I'm not too good at games. But there's like a group that I've been playing with of 3 other people. We've been playing Castles of Burgundy, but like we finish a game, and we say GG and stuff, and then we like automatically go into a rematch. So
Yeah, I've had little spells
That's
of
been
just
fine.
playing random games, but generally, I just play with
From
the
the
people we know
Discord,
on
yeah, we've
Discord
got a little Slicker Drips group
and each other.
and we play each other, and that's better.
Yeah, we haven't had a game Can't Stop for ages.
No,
You literally can't stop.
can't stop.
Right. Thank you, everyone. Enjoy your dinner, Julian. I have to play a game of Spirit Island. Good luck.
Enjoy that.
So,
Tough times ahead.
I've no problem. Drive away those invaders. So thank you so much, everyone, for joining us here. We will try and do. We won't let it be 9 months until the next one, but yeah, we're gonna have to do one soonish, aren't we?
We'll do one soonish, and
yeah.
you never know. Eventually, there might be one where
Yeah,
a
maybe
little
there'll be
guest
like a
makes an appearance. You never know.
yeah.
Just a quick appearance. You never know.
They could be interrupted by a crying baby. Who knows? We'll see how all of that is to be found out, isn't it? I'm at 341 Steve, so you're beating me.
Oh, I don't even know how to look at that.
It's on your profile on Board Game Arena.
I'm
one of the
definitely
tabs.
not at 300.
You might be at 750. Maybe you've played that Castlevania. Maybe you've played with that Castlevania group more than you think.
I don't know. I haven't. No way. Go on my profile. Am I on my profile?
I think you pressed it twice.
Where do I go now?
229. You're not far behind me.
Not bad.
Not bad. It's basically like a year. So yeah, thank you so much, everyone. Have lovely weekends and stuff. On Sunday, you can catch Metal Gear Solid, the third stage of Metal Gear Solid. Meryl's joining Snake. Stuff's happening. And there's more stuff coming up next week. I'll be live at some point playing something, and there'll be a recorded playthrough or perhaps a couple headed your way as well. You can support us on Patreon, on Ko-fi. So I'm able to do this. I'm pointing at the wrong thing at the wrong time. But thank you so much, everyone, for being here, and we'll see you soon. Bye.
Bye.
Bye.